Let's go ahead. We've done a little stretching. Let's bring the arms up and just gently behind the ears. Squeeze your seat. Bring an elbow over close to your side and come up. And then turn to the side using your core muscles and look to the side and back to the center. And then your other elbow over. So it's just a very good way to get the back moving and to get all the muscles of the trunk contracting and squeezing, and a turn. And then one more over to the side and up, and a turn and up. Let's go ahead. We'll bring the arms down, circle both shoulders backward twice. Keep the seat squeezed, keep some tension in the belly, and let's do 2 backward arm circles. Getting that good expansion of the chest and movement of the shoulders, and then a breath in and a breath out. Okay, we're gonna kind of do some vigorous work that's gonna work on your whole body and get the heart rate going. And what we're doing is arms to the sides, lift your straight leg and kind of reach toward the toe as your upper body gives a little twist and your leg gives a lift. If for some reason this bothers your back, it's a little too vigorous, you could do a knee lift. So ways to adapt that. Also, balance could be an issue where you need to go to the knee lift. And a breath in, a breath out. We're going to bring the arms to the sides like this and work on the opposite side of the body with that bringing the hands back and kicking toward the seat. Now, instead of strengthening in the front of the body, we're strengthening in the back of the body, the back of the shoulders, the seat, the back of the thigh. And then let's take a breath in and out. Circle the shoulders back twice. And then we'll do a big arm circle twice. So starting to feel quite warmed up everywhere. Okay, now we're going to do a variation on this back lunge that we've been doing for warm-up. So watch me. I'm going to step back and I'm going to bring that same arm up. And as I bring the arm down, I'm going to bring the knee up and then back to a lunge. And what I'm doing is kind of working again on the front of the body, the thigh, the hip, the belly. So we'll get just in a kind of a small back lunge, and we'll do that. Lift and lunge, and a lift and lunge. 2 more of those. A lift and lunge. If you're having trouble with balance, you could put your hand on something, and a lift and lunge. And then let's lift and come back to standing. Lift, back to standing, and a backward arm circle. Just thinking that shoulder might have been under some stress. And then we'll go to the other side. So it's a back lunge, and lift that same arm. And then as we swing the arm down, we'll lift that knee, that lift, and a back lunge, and a lift, and a lunge. Now, if I were having trouble with balance, I could just put my hand on something over to the side, and a lift, and lunge, lift, and lunge. And this time a lift and go back to standing, a lift, and stand. And a breath in And a breath out. And we're gonna bend the knees. Bring your fingertips toward the knees, and we're gonna do a stretch for the back after all that vigorous movement. Looking forward, stick your seat out, let your belly fall toward the floor a little, and then pull the belly in, tuck your chin, and curl up, look towards your lap. And then looking forward, let your belly sag, let your back arch, and then pull in the belly, tuck the chin, and curl up. And then look forward. This time, don't let your belly sag, but kind of keep your back in a neutral position. We're going to separate the feet a little, at least as wide as your hips or shoulders. Bend your knees a little more, and we're going to let the arms drop. And now we're going to look to the side, but moving both arms to the side. A look to the side. And down, a great back strengthener. You feel this in your belly too. Thighs are working with that squat, partial squat. Your weight kind of neutral in your foot, not on your toes, but more neutral, the middle of your foot. And we'll swing out and look to the side, feeling all the trunk muscles at work, and a turn and to the side. Now we're going to go ahead and lift up, and we'll nudge the knees. Okay, and then we kind of settle back into that partial squat. If anything, so your seat sticks out behind you, just let your seat go out, and you feel the weight in the middle of your foot or back towards your heels. And now we're going to bring the hands up, and we're going to turn this way while we're up. It changes the muscle use some. Again, working on the strength of the trunk while we work on the thighs, keeping that seat out behind you and a turn. This usually works fine for the knees, a little easier than a lunge. And let's bring the hands down, take a breath in and a breath out. And now I want to work on these muscles on the sides of the trunk. So for the sides of the trunk, what we're going to do, let's start with the side bend. We'll come over and up and over and coming up. We'll bring the hands up. So fingertips kind of near your head, whatever shoulder movement you can get to make that happen. And we'll go over and squeeze the elbow towards your hip and back to the center. And squeeze over toward the hip and back to the center. Now we're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna lift one knee to the side and then the other knee. So a lift and a lift. And working on getting a feel for that. The balance gets better as you take turns and keep working. Now we're gonna combine the lift with a little, bringing the elbow over toward the leg. And a lift, and down, and a lift, and a lift. Be patient, you'll get better at it. And a lift. So we're trying to be slow and controlled, working on balance with that different type of leaning of the body to the side, working on the muscles in the side of the trunk, and a lift and down. Let's take a breath in and a breath out, and circle both shoulders to the back. Okay, and now we'll go ahead into some faster movement with some stomps, some coordination, and some lunges. Let's practice the lunges a little ahead of time. So if you're newer to class, you'll know what we're going to do. We're going to, with the music, be working on our bone density of the hips, and that involves impacts to the floor and also lunging. So the lunge is like this, and you can just follow along, especially if you already know how to do it. We step up and over and come to a flat foot in front, and then you go onto the ball of the foot behind, and then you bend to both knees. And then what we're thinking we're going to do is a little nudge and nudge. Try to keep the hips square. If you have a knee problem, you just make it a smaller lunge. And then what we're going to do for a little balance is like a rocking chair. We'll lift the back foot, lift the front foot. A little back and forth, back and forth. And then we'll go ahead and bring the front leg back, and we'll try it on the other side. So for this, you could always put your hand on a chair if you have a chair sideways next to you, or if you have a wall or something, a table. And we'll come forward on the flat foot on the other side, up, out, flat foot. Say your knee bothered you, you would do a small one. So depends on your situation, your strength, what you need for balance. And we'll do some pulse, keeping the hips square and also keeping my chest up. So my shoulders are staying right over my hips. My heart is lifted. And then I'm going to go to that rocking motion, lifting the back leg, the front leg, and back in front. Just taking a lot of strength to make all that happen along with the balance. And then I'm going to bring my front leg back. My feet are together. A breath in and a breath out. Okay, well, let's add some music. We'll start with stomping, some jogging. Only do things that you think are good for your structure. Anything hurts or is questionable, I would ask you to skip that exercise because we change our movements fairly often. So maybe the next movement would work for you. So here we have some good music. And we start.
When I wake up,
pressing.
well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to the ground. When I go out,
stop.
well, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with
Just
you.
force through your heel.
If I get drunk, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who gets up next to you.
Coordination.
If I ever, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who's ever answer you. But I'm gonna walk 500 miles and I'll land 500 miles to be the man who walks 1,000 miles to fall down that shore door. When I'm working, yes, I know I'm gonna be the man who's working hard. And when the money comes and follow what I got to, I'll pass on
Put that body weight into the hip.
when I come home, girl, I know I'm gonna be the man who comes back home to you.
The hips and back
If I
together.
go, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who's going.
And you can just step.
But I wanna walk 500 miles and I'm gonna walk 500 more just to feel the man who walks 1,000 miles together, fall down that shore door. So that when I go out, and I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. And when I come home, then I know I'm gonna be the man who comes back for you. I'm gonna be the man who's down,
Flat foot. Toes.
but I'll walk 500 miles and I'll walk 500 more just to be the man who walks 1,000 miles. Go down and shout.
Okay, other side, whichever side we didn't do before, and a lift, and a lift, a jump if we can, a jump, and back together. All right, great, everybody. We'll do a backward shoulder circle. I have my husband in the background making me chuckle. Okay. All right, now we're gonna go to the chairs, and we're gonna have the elastic bands nearby if you have one. They're not absolutely necessary. Okay, and we'll keep on this theme of some trunk strengthening. Let's go ahead, we're gonna be standing in just a moment. Seated, we're gonna come toward the front edge of the chair. And even a little more toward the front edge of the chair. So you're right on the front edge of the chair. We're going to put our hands here on the corners of the chair, grabbing on each side. And then for bone density in the wrist and for arm strength, we're going to give a push. And as you do it, let your shoulders be wide and back. And then we'll see if we can, if you're, you can hold this amount of pressure, or you can give a firmer push and even lift your hips off the chair. And if your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists are okay, you could push your hips forward and then come back over the chair and become seated. Bring your feet in a little closer. We're gonna open and close the hands, coming forward and up. And from here, we're gonna do a standing type motion, so that we're have come up, and then take a step back so you feel the chair behind your knees. We're just going to bring the hands down. We're going to do a side bend into side bend, and then we'll just press the elbows back, stick your seat out. Make sure your chair is where you think it is. You can either reach with your hand or check with your eyes. And we're going to slowly lower. We'll do a side bend and a side bend. And then we want to stand up. Let's take a breath in, a breath out. And we're going to reach back. And again, make sure you feel the chair behind your knees. We'll stick our seat out. Okay, and then we want to slowly lower to the chair. Let's do the alphabet Let's do every third letter in the alphabet, starting with B. So to B, F, I, in that order. Okay, so every third letter as we slowly lower. So using your brain and your brawn at the same time. So B, H, K, N, Q, T, and we'll lower to the chair. Okay, and let's go ahead and arms back and power up in that position. Let's circle in the wrists one way and then the other way. Let's interlace the hands. Squeeze your seat. Interlace your fingers. Elbows forward and push the palm forward. And then hitch your shoulders forward a little and go overhead. And we'll do a side bend on one side, a side bend on the other side. And just bring your hands down to the top of your head, and we'll stick our seat out. So your hands are resting on top of your head. And we're gonna slowly lower, and let's start at C, the letter C, and do every third letter as we slowly lower. So C, F, I, L, O, and we'll bring the hands down. Circle back. And now let's come to the front edge of the chair. And again, we're going to grab on. So now you know how much pressure your shoulders, elbows, and wrists can take. So find that pressure that's okay for you and hold it. And if it's lifting your body, keep your body lifted. If you're able to lift your body, you can bring your feet forward a little and slide your seat all the way off. So you only do things that are not painful for you and you know are not going to hurt your body. If you're ready for it, we can do some of these push-ups with your seat hanging off the end of the chair. This great strengthener for the back of the upper arm. And we'll do one more. And back up. And then we'll slide that seat back onto the chair. While we're still forward in the chair, we're going to do some sit-ups. We're going to start with the hands here. Contract your belly, straighten the back. And we're going to slowly lean back and then lift up. The belly stays clenched and we'll stretch forward. Folding over those thighs, we'll come up straight and we'll lean back. That slow release, that constant tension on the abdominal muscles is where you gain the strength. And coming up, come straight, clench the belly, straighten the back. This is the last one. Go nice and slow as we go back. Okay, let's just keep the hands here. And for the feet, we're going to come up on the toes. If you have shoes on, let's take the shoes off so that you get a good arch and toe strengthening workout. Arches of the feet and the toes are very important in walking for having good strength. And then that coming on the toes, you can feel your belly contract. That's what we're really looking for. And we're going to lift and straighten and bend and scissor to the other side. Lift, straighten, and bend and scissor. Now, for the neck, often it works better to have your head fall forward a little. Straighten and bend. Because we like to think of the neck being relaxed, the head hanging loosely, even give it a little shake. And bend and scissor. We'll do one more on each leg. Relax neck and scissor and straighten and bend and down. Let's come up on the ball of one foot. We'll do a hip stretch. Let your knee just fall out and bring it in and falling out and in. Let's go to the other side, up on the pointed toe, spinning out and in and out and in. And then we're going to straighten the leg, lift it a little, clench the belly, and we're going to bring the leg out to the side and in to get that combination of hip and stomach muscles working together for a very good strengthener. And a lift and down. Foot can be flat, straight leg, a little bit of a lift, and out to the side and forward. So we're trying to have a very straight knee. That requires a lot of contraction of the thigh muscle. Let's do one more, just coming out, in, and a lift, and down. Straight back. Make sure you're still on your chair, not sliding off. So your seat just in a good spot toward the front edge of the chair. Clenched belly, straight back. And we do another sit up. Let's take a breath in. On the breath out, bring the arms behind the head. And we're going to do a turn and a turn. And then this time we're going to turn and take the elbow down to the opposite knee. And coming up and turning and taking the elbow down to the opposite knee. And coming up. Let's this time take it to the outside of the opposite knee if you have that flexibility. So a little further stretch and up and a turn and leaning and a stretch. Bring my hands down. I'm going to circle back. I'm going to separate the legs and I'm going to do a hug around each leg. So arms out, I'm going to turn toward one leg, fold over and hug behind that thigh and give a pull. Getting some extra stretch and then stay leaning over, arms wide and lift up. And we'll go to the other side. Leaning over and a hug. Arms wide, coming up. Let's bring the legs in. And we're going to do a backward arm circle. So we scooch ourselves to the back of the chair. And then we're going to go ahead and lean back in the chair. Let's swing in the knees, getting the knees to fully straighten with each movement. So that health of the knee by getting that full straightening and the stretch in the joint capsule. And then let's leave those out. Another abdominal exercise. We're going to clench the belly, and then we're going to lift one leg and then the other. And so we're doing a little back and forth, like a slow flutter kick, putting those muscles under constant tension to build strength and endurance. Again, using the heavy weight of the legs to work the muscles. And then we'll bring those down. Okay, I'm gonna come up a bit. And one. Okay. We're going to do a different kind of exercise for the abdomen. So we're going to lift one knee, straighten one hand, and pull it down to the top of the knee. So I have my heel of my hand right on my knee. I'm going to reach back with the other hand on my chair, guide my hip to give a little support. And then I'm going to push down on that knee while my leg muscles and stomach muscles are working to hold it off the floor. Go to the other side and lift, reach back to stabilize, straight elbow, push that knee down and hold that push and hold. Each side again, straight elbow and a push and push and a straight elbow and a push and push. And now I'm going to lean back, slide my seat forward, separate the feet a little, and I'm going to do a stretch where I put the knees to the side, let this hip come off the chair and do a twist. It will go the other way. A twist to that side, in the center, and a twist, and a twist. And then making sure you're on your chair, we'll bring our hands up here and clench the belly, straighten the back, and use your stomach muscles to pull up. And circle back. We're going to go now with some music for some head to toe workout that involves some coordination and quickness of thinking and reacting as you watch the movements. So we start out halfway forward. Okay. We're going to start with some toe raises. Feet and shoulders equally wide up to the tippy toes and onto the heels. Up to the tippy toes and onto the heels. Push the shoulders back and down. Lift the heart. We're going to pedal. And then quicker. And getting ready for a knee lift up and down. So now your legs and your stomach with this slow, controlled movement. Keep the belly intense. We're going to lift and straighten. Slow control. Keeping your muscles contracted. Try to fully straighten the knee. Lift. Now we're going to switch the hands. Open and close. Hands to the front and now to the sides. Really spreading those fingers. And then relaxed fingers. We're going to circle the wrist and then the other way. And down. And scooch to the back of your chair as you bring your arms back around. You're going to lean back for a minute and straighten the legs. Get that nice, stimulating swing. And leave the legs out. Point and flex. Think of your ankle movements. You can pull it and release. And then we'll circle in the ankles. And we'll circle the other way. And now a back stretch. Feet flat, flat back, lean down, curl up, and roll. One more of those. Flat back, curl, and roll. And over to the side and center. And over. As arm weight, just lean, reach, center, lean, reach, center, and then we're going to rotate rather quickly. front. Watch your hands. So we get the head turning and back, in front, and down, in front. Now to relax the shoulders. One shoulder, backward twice, other shoulder, backward twice, both shoulders together, back, and a breath in, and a breath out. Okay, now coming back halfway forward in the chair. We're going to do similar movements, but we're getting ready for some live music in a class within the next couple weeks. We'll do a rumba. So many have done it before and many have not. So we're going to start getting ready for that. So the rumba you can do with me. The beat is a slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick. Remember to lift the heart, pull in the belly, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick. And we're going to go to a core movement. Slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick. And we can go to a foot movement. So for this, now we're sitting halfway forward in the chair, belly's in, shoulders back and down, and we'll do slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, really using your foot muscles. And let's add a knee lift with that. So a slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, a quick, quick, slow, quick, quick. Now we'll do that with the leg extension, just like we did in the last one. We'll do a lift, quick, quick, lift, quick, quick. So it's a quick switch, kick, switch, kick, switch. This is a very strengthening one. Switch, kick, and down. Let's take a breath in and out. We get a little breather with the arms. Quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, back, quick, quick, down, quick, quick, front. Snapping the fingers, good for hand strength. Quick movements of the fingers, even if you don't get a snap, that quick movement like that. And then we'll do kind of a different movement. We're going to lean to the leg with a twist. So getting back and the stomach muscles working. So we'll do a slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick. And same thing as we go up. Slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick. Let's go to the other side. So the belly's pulled in, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, up, quick, quick, center, quick, quick. And now, this if you were in class Tuesday, you'll recognize this. We'll do a touch, reach, and down. Touch, reach, and down. So it's slow, quick, quick, coordinating your arm, floating it through the air, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, and then we'll change the arm movement. Slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, and some foot movement. We're gonna go out, 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 in, 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 in. So that zigzagging of the feet and really getting a hip stretch. Out, 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 in, 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 in. So really engaging the brain to make that happen. And then with finishing, we'll do a reach, and then it's a turn and a snapping. Snap, snap, turn, watch your hands go back, snap, snap. We're alternating sides. Reach, snap, snap, reach, snap, snap. We'll finish reach, out, up, into the floor for a big stretch. And just let your head fall loosely. Go ahead, waggle the head. Get some neck stretch. To come up, let's walk the hands forward. Lift the arms, activating the back. And we'll lift up and down and circle the shoulders back. Before we go to bands, I want us to do that with music once. Takes about 4 minutes, and then we'll be going to the bands. So we're going to use recorded music now, but my husband and a fellow musician, a trumpet player, will probably play this song for us within the next 2 weeks. So we'll make it a lot of fun. So here we go.
When marimba rhythms start to play, dance with me.
Belly tight, back
Like a
real
lazy
straight.
ocean hugs the shore.
That's it.
Swimming more. Like the flower bending in the breeze. Bend with me, swing with
Really
me.
using the foot
When
muscles.
you dance, you have to bear with me.
Wide shoulders,
Sway with me.
switching to the knee lift.
Other dancers may be on the floor, dear, but my eyes will see
Use
only
the
you.
belly to get that lift.
Only you have that magic technique. When we sway, I go weak. I can hear
Now
the
with the
sound of
straight knee.
violins long before it begins.
Lift, really keep the belly and hip engaged.
Swing, swing, swing.
Break, up, reach, back, reach, down, front, up, reach, back.
Other dancers may be on the floor, but my eyes will see only you. Only you have that magic technique. When we sway, I go weak. I can hear the sound of violins long before it begins. Make me feel as though you know how. Sway me sweet, sway me now. When marimba rhythms start to play, dance with me, make me sway. Like a lazy ocean that hugs the shore. Make me sway me more.
Feet.
Like a flower bending in the breeze, bend with me, sway with me. When we dance, you have to run with me, stay with me, sway with me. When the rhythms start to play, hold me close, make me sway. Like the ocean of the shore, hold me close, sway me more. Like a flower bending in the breeze, bend with me, sway with me. When we dance, you have a way with me, stay with me, sway with me.
Okay. And to come up, once again, let's walk forward, lift the arms, and use the back muscles to come up. And we'll bring the legs together, circle the shoulders back. And now we want to reach for the bands. And we'll start with a few exercises seated. And if you're not going to do the bands, or the other options to do these exercises without the band, they'll just involve both leg and arm movement, and you can do them just fine even without the band. The weight of the arm is enough that you get strengthening on all the arm muscles. Let's take another breath in and a breath out. And we're well warmed up for this. We're gonna put the hands about 6 to 8 inches apart. We keep a little loop there. Bring both hands into your breastbone. Let's try one arm up and then the other arm up. We were going to combine this with leg movements. Say this bothers your shoulder. You could only go part way up, or you could go forward with your band, with your push. You don't have to go overhead. Or you could do it without arm movement at all because it's really quite vigorous. But the full movement is going to be legs out with the push up and in, and legs out and in, and out. So really working, this is just great for the hips, shoulders, and the back of the upper arm, the triceps. So really a good multi-purpose movement here. Up and in. And you can always switch to just using your arms or just using your legs if something is bothering you. Now let's bring this out. Take a breath in and a breath out. And we're going to do one other thing seated. We're going to bring this around the waist behind. Bring the elbows in, and so the band is fairly tight. And one thing we're thinking about with this is fully straightening the elbows as we push forward. But I'm also thinking about developing grip strength. So if possible, I'm not like wrapping it around my hand. I'm trying to use my grip strength to hold the band. This is very good for the fingers, bone density of the fingers, to have that tight grip on the band. And that pulling, fully straightening and coming back in. Okay, let's go ahead, scoot back in your chair a little. So we're gonna, just leaving the arms like this, we're gonna go ahead and stand up. So go ahead and let your chest come forward and stand up in front of your chair. And we're gonna move the chair to the side. Maybe we're going to do some lunges, and then that involves some rotation and strengthening for the rotator muscles of the shoulder. So I'd have your chair like that in case you need it for your hand. We're going to do a forward lunge. You can either hold the rope in one hand or hold it. We're going to do a little loop. We're going to do to a flat foot, up, out, small lunge if you have testy knees, big lunge if you're okay with that. Weight in the front foot is toward the middle of your foot or the heel. We're going to bring both hands down to that, toward that front lower thigh. And we're going to keep this elbow in as we pull out and back down. So this is an exercise we use fairly often for the rotator cuff of the bands. It's a very good exercise for stabilizing the shoulder. The important thing is to keep the elbow right tucked to the side very firmly as you bring that hand up and out. Great also for that bone density that you get from the lunges and the leg strength. Let's pulse a few times and we'll bring that leg back. Let's take a breath in, a breath out. Let's step forward with the other leg. Remembering you can use your chair if you need one hand there. as big a lunge as you want to make, and then we bend both knees, again, as far as you want. We'll bring both hands to that front lower thigh, squeeze that elbow in, that push, and then we'll bring that up and out. Also getting biceps with this, as well as the rotator muscles. And see, this finishing position is like your hand is a little out to the side. That's where the rotation comes in, pulling it out to the side. And to pull, it's important to do a slow release also. It's a slow release, just keeping tension on those muscles. Okay, let's bring this here. We'll do a pulse and a pulse, and we'll bring that leg back. Okay, let me get my piece of paper here. Okay, and let's go ahead. We'll bring, we're going to combine some balance with this next exercise. Keeping the same distance here, we're going to push the hand forward with a knee lift. So let's try opposite hand, opposite knee, a push to the front. And we'll go to the other side. So working on slow, controlled movement for strength, coordination, and balance. If you want more resistance, you can move your hands closer together. If you want less resistance, you can separate your hands. We're working on that standing on one leg as you push forward. Let's change it now where you're pushing with the hand on the same side as the leg you're raising. So instead of doing opposite side, just mixing it up a little. All the while I'm not bending over, keeping my shoulders up, wide shoulders facing straight ahead to push. And one more push and lift. And then I'm going to take it underneath my feet. Okay, and I'm holding on here, and I'm going to separate my feet about as wide as the shoulders. I'm trying to be right in the middle of the band. I'm going to bend my knees, sticking my seat out. So I kind of come down like this, trying to keep a flat back. And as I straighten my legs, I'm going to pull my hands up here and do a toe raise. And down, stick the seat out, bend the knees, straighten up to the armpits and the toes. Seat out, up, a pull to the toes. Seat out, up, pull up into the toes. And we'll do one more of those. Pulling up. Then we're going to go, just keeping it right here, we're going to go to some biceps work. Thumb can face the screen. And we'll do one side and then the other. So that bending and bending. Let's switch that. Turn your palms forward and keep the elbows in. The elbows stay right at your sides. And now the palms kind of face out. So that's the other part of the biceps muscle. And kind of watch the speed. We try to make a slow contraction, slow release. A slow contraction, slow release. And then we're going to step off of that band. And we want to get the muscles in the upper back still. Let's take a breath in and a breath out. And we're going to use a side lunge to work on those muscles. So we'll have the band. We're going to do our side lunge out to the side. And for the side lunge, you want to check to make sure your hips right over your foot. So you're vertical in alignment over that foot. Then we're going to stick the seat out, chest forward, back is still flat. We have a little distance between the hands, 6 or 8 inches, and we're going to pull the elbows up one at a time. Elbow back, and then push down with that hand, and the other elbow pulls toward the ceiling. So the elbow's pulling up toward the ceiling with this. That pull, trying to keep the trunk steady. So the trunk is not rotating. It's the arms pulling back so that the focus is on those muscles that pull the elbow back. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll lift up. And let's go ahead. Let's see if we can give some nudges with that knee. A little more work for that hip. The knee is nudging straight forward with that. And then we'll spring back. And then we're going to lunge to the other side. So it's like you're stepping over something and out to the side. And then just to the point where you can get your whole body aligned vertically over that leg. And then we're gonna separate the hands a little further. So at least as wide as your shoulders, they're going a little further. Stick the seat out, lean forward, your arms can hang forward. And we're gonna pull the arms straight out to the sides and down. So our purpose here is still strengthening in the upper back. You don't have to look at the screen if it's bothering your neck. That may be out in the distance on the floor. So we're just going to pull straight out, even a little behind, and straight out, a little behind, keeping all the weight on that one leg, and one more pull straight out. Okay, and then let's go ahead, just straighten the hips so you come a little forward. And then we'll do a little nudge on that. The knee going straight forward with that. Just feel that really is strengthening, having all that weight on that one thigh. And then we'll go ahead and spring back. And go ahead and put the weights, bands down. Whew. We want to stretch the hips, push one hip out to the side. To the center, push your other hip out to the side. And the center, let's open and close the hands. This is after holding on tightly like that, opening and closing, doing a backward shoulders, arm circles. And we'll circle back. And let's circle in the wrists. So all that force into the fingers and the wrists is very good for bone density, good for grip strength, and that's one of the things we're working on, but you have to relax afterward. And now we're going to go to our 5 deep rapid breaths. So palms forward, shoulders back, and tighten your seat, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And circle back. Okay,